Hello, welcome back. We're here with a wrap up.
Yes, with all the COVID-19 pandemic thing, we can't get to the library.
Yeah.
Not that we wanted to go yet, because we haven't finished all our books. Although this month I did make a valiant effort.
You did?
Towards. Oh yes, I got 6 books read this month.
I only got 2.
That's good for me. 6 is really good. 4 is probably average, but
Yeah.
6 is really good. So, and I didn't really have any really short ones, so it was good. I started with the Codex, which, as you might recall, I hadn't exactly decided if I was going to finish it or not, and I was really glad I did. It's about a man who is very wealthy, and he's a treasure hunter. This says it's a Raiders of the Lost Ark meets the Amazing Race. And I have to say, that's really kind of a very apt description of what the book was. I'm glad I stuck with it through the end because it had some really good redemption in the end. And I was glad I stuck with it. Is it great? No, it's not great. I would give it a 3. It's average. But I'm glad I stuck with it because it did have some...
It had some redeeming qualities.
Yeah, it had some good things. And as I recall, it did have some cussing in it. There was a few suggestive talk, but no sex scenes, so that I recall. So, yeah, it was decent.
Yeah. It's okay to have a decent book every now and then.
The second one I did was on my Kindle, and it was the Isaac Asimov... Caves of Steel. Yeah, and I wasn't really sure I was into it, and I wasn't sure. I liked it, but I wasn't real hip on the prejudice. It talks about the prejudice of all the people against the robots, and how they were very determined to make sure they were called Robot Daniel, as opposed to just Daniel. They constantly made sure you aware that was Robot Steve or Robot Sam or Robot Daniel, and that's troublesome.
Yeah, that's hard to read about.
Because if you put that into today, they're trying to say that we're prejudiced about people, and
well, it was written in like the 50s.
Right, and so I guess
it was during the segregation, and he was probably trying to make a point with, hey, stop being prejudiced against black people.
And we just watched Hidden Figures. My mom loaned it to me
back really
around
good.
Christmas. And I couldn't get these people to watch it with
I
me.
was willing to watch it. The boys weren't.
No, they weren't. And so finally, I just decided we're going to watch it during the daytime. And
Sean came in, because we were laughing, he came in and was like... And then he ended up watching the rest of it.
And he enjoyed it. And so then a couple days later, we talked Michael into watching it because Michael likes historical kind of things. And so I knew he'd enjoy it. And he did. He did. So that was good.
Once he actually finally sat down and watched it.
Yeah. But so Caves of Steel, I enjoyed. I do have the second one on my Kindle. Well, we'll see.
Third. Is it the third one?
It's the second in this series. Caves of Steel was the first one in whatever the series is called, the detective series.
Oh.
The first I read of Isaac Asimov was his short story compilation.
Our battery is dying.
Oh, that's not good. Anyway, so that's Caves of Steel. I enjoyed it. I will read the next one. Why don't you talk about the next one we read?
Oh, we read Mouse City by Genevieve Cogman. This one was really hard for me.
It's the second one in the Invisible Library series, which we're really enjoying.
Yeah, we're really enjoying it. The Invisible Library was a 5-star for both of us.
Yeah. And
that's, for her to give a 5-star is very rare. The Mouse City was a 4-star for me.
I might have rated it a 4.5. Not sure.
It was because there was just a lot happening. There was a lot of angst. Like, it was very angsty. And
it was difficult for Tiffany because one of the main characters that she loves wasn't prominent in the book.
Yeah,
and another character
another
character that she loves was also not prominent, but was prominent because he was taken captive, and
it had a lot to do with the inner workings of Faye and stuff. And that was it was interesting. I enjoyed it. I don't know how it will work out when I reread the series. I don't know if I'll be like, ooh, I know what happened, so I'm not scared, you know. So,
but I did enjoy the book. You know, like she said,
book.
it was a harder book to read, but I'm liking the series, and will probably end up owning it because I do like the series.
I'm gonna change the batteries real quick.
Okay. So the next book, were you done talking about Mass City?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the next book I read was Not Every Gift is a Blessing, The Girl with All the Gifts.
It's a creepy book. It's creepy.
Okay, I would definitely say this one was a thriller. Let's
It was
see,
in the
what do
fantasy section.
Yeah, I don't know. Scary, tense, and fast-paced, but with a heartwarming tenderness. Original, thrilling, and powerful, haunting, and heartbreaking. As fresh as it is terrifying, there you go. It left me sighing with envious joy. A jewel takes hold of you and doesn't let go. You know, that's why I don't read these things ahead of time. Because they really don't
say much.
Yeah, it's you know what I have learned is that you really have to have low expectations when you go into watching something or reading something, because if you get high expectations, the odds of it actually being able to meet those high expectations are slim.
Yeah.
And so if you keep your expectations low, you know, going into a book not knowing anything about it is really low expectations, you know.
Or going into Rogue One knowing everyone dies. We actually really enjoyed that movie.
Yes, I think that's one of my favorites because I enjoyed all the people and I knew it was the segue between that one and everybody, none of those people were alive in that one, so they had to die. So, you know, I was okay with that. But, so The Girl with All the Gifts is basically about a virus, so it's pretty weird that I picked it up to read it this time.
It's basically a zombie-like virus.
Yeah, and so anyway, you can't give away parts of a thriller.
Well,
so
what would you rate it on the stars?
A 3.
A 3? An iffy 3?
Yeah, an iffy 3 because you know, like I said, it was difficult.
Our battery's dying. She needs to.
This one's dying too.
Yes, they're both dying.
Paradox Bound. In the last time I talked about books, I told you a little bit about this one, and I wasn't sure because I was at a point where they had gone to a place back in history, and it was just kind of boring. At the point where I stopped, and then all of a sudden, things started happening, and they started hopping around, and
they got the plot back.
They were being chased again, and I have to say, I really enjoyed this. By the time.
By the time it ended?
Yeah, by the time it ended. And
so it was like a 2-star before that plot thing happened, and then it became a 4.
It at the time that I paused last time, it was definitely a 2. And then it just boomed. And so, yeah. I have to say I would recommend this, except with the huge, huge disclaimer. There's some cursing in this book. And if you are opposed to cursing at all, don't pick it up.
Yeah, if cursing triggers you in any way, don't pick it up.
Yeah, but there wasn't so much, and it wasn't the F-bomb. I think maybe they blew that one a couple of times. But there wasn't so much that you were frustrated the whole time reading it, like we were with, what was that one?
I think I blocked it out.
Foundry
Side. Oh, I blocked that out.
That one was... You felt dirty reading that one. And I have to say that the Invisible Library is picking up some of those things that we loved about...
The language is like the scribings. And it's
that we loved about Foundry Side. The only things we loved about Foundry Side are picked up in this one without the cussing.
Burning page.
Without the crassness.
What would you rate that at the end?
Paradox Bound, I would go 4, 3.5, 4.
That's pretty decent.
3 3/4.
It made a comeback from a 2.
Yeah, so I did really enjoy it. I'm glad I read it. It was fun.
So we buddy read Burning Page.
Yes.
And I will say I really enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed it.
Let's see. Where was this one? Oh, yes. This one was enjoyable.
This one was really good. It had all the characters I loved. It didn't have much angst, which I enjoyed. And it was just really good. I really enjoyed it. You can't really say much because it's the 3rd one in a series, so you can't really Same.
Yeah. There's a character, his name is Vale, and he's basically a Sherlock Holmes type guy.
Basically Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. Although I picture him as this real tall, lanky, skinny dude.
That's what Sherlock Holmes is.
Well,
That's how
I picture him more taller and, anyway. But so there's that, and then there's dragons, and
Fae, and
there's Fae, and there's espionage, and
magic, and
yes.
language, and it's very nice.
Yes, we enjoyed it. Since it's April, and we finished the next one too, but we won't talk about that one yet because that's being our April wrap up.
Might have a review for that one.
Yeah, so we've already started the 5th one, so we're excited about that.
Yeah, Burning Page, I gave 4-star. It wasn't as great as the first one for me.
Right, no, it wasn't as great.
None of them has been great as the first one. Okay, so Burning Page, 4-star. What was it for you?
Yeah, I'd say it was a 4-star. It was everything we like about the books, except that we didn't have quite as much interaction with our main characters. Was that the one?
Was it? No, they had a lot of good interaction. I don't know why it wasn't a 5-star for me. It just wasn't.
Yeah, it was still really good,
it was still
and we really enjoyed
good.
it.
I will definitely, the series looks like it's not going to flop like Jacoby.
Yeah.
Looking at you. Yeah. The last 2 books, what was that?
Yeah. It was just too big of a closure on that one. But
yeah.
So anyway, we've already read book 4. We can't talk about that because that's in April. So
that was my fault. I blame migraines for the lack of reading I did. It was horrible.
Yeah, you noticed she only read 2 and I read 6. But so yeah, that's the last one. We had started Dune.
We started Dune by Frank Hubert.
Is that who that's by?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Frank Hubert, and it was published in 1965. Huh. Well, so it's almost as old as you.
Almost. I was taller.
And we started Lost Plot.
Yes,
we finished Lost Plot yesterday. And we're just in the beginning of Dune. It's a massive book. It's massive.
Yes, and we really do think Sanderson
is a fanboy.
Yes, because, they're from Caledon, and Caledon is a main character. Just say it.
There's a lot of evidence we're
compiling, and we will make a report on that later. But yeah, so we're enjoying. I'm starting to enjoy Dune. The first couple of chapters, I was like,
yeah, the first chapter's really dry, like the desert.
It takes place in the desert.
Dune.
But, so we're pushing through on that, and I'm starting to really enjoy it.
Yeah,
that's good.
I am starting to really enjoy it.
I have the next one in the Isaac Asimov series. And, we're going to be, I've got 2 more library books that I have checked out of the library.
I have 6, but...
And Tiff has several that I wanted to read, too. So we've still got some books left, but we're starting to utilize our e-library a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I hope you are finding ebooks from your library. If you haven't tried that before, you might check it out. Because there are quite a few available. You can read them on your phone. You can read them on a Kindle. You can read them on the Kindle app on your computer.
And there's even the librarians. My theory is because they're lacking in job, our library has actually added sections to our app that's like always available classics and fantastical fiction.